G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being the greatest rugby fans on the planet and watching my content. I really do appreciate it. You are here today because it's Super Rugby Round 9 and the Waratahs has finally beaten a New Zealand team this year. Oh my god, it took only 9 rounds, guys. Only 9 rounds for the Waratahs to do it. You know, after last year when the Waratahs beat the Crusaders, I thought the Waratahs turned the corner. I thought more wins over the New Zealand teams was to come, but hey, only took them 9 rounds to get a win out of a New Zealand team. Albeit Highlanders is not really in the best form right now, but hey, a 1-point win is still a win. Okay, now the Highlanders really had an opportunity to actually win this game. I was sitting here thinking that hey, it's gonna be another loss until the pressure mounted. The pressure. Right? You know what happens when people are under pressure? Some people go grey, right? The hair go grey when they're under pressure. Some people, they shake under pressure. But hey, Pari Parkinson gives away a yellow card. I think he couldn't handle it. He wanted to get off the field, right? I think he just wanted to get off the field. It was too much. He wanted to get off the field. So yeah, he gave away a really, really stupid penalty and had himself sent off, and allowing the Waratahs to rumble in for a try just minutes before full time, and to clutch out the win, 21 points to 20. So yeah, let's have a look at what happened. This has to be one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, right? Like in terms of from a professional player, this is just like, sometimes things happen, sometimes things happen really quickly and then you look really stupid. But this is not really anything super quick. It's just pure stupidity, okay? So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at why the Highlanders lost this game. So let's have a look at this replay.
Will be likely. And not getting it.
Let's have a look what happens here, right? So the Waratahs has a let's quickly go through this bit. Yeah, so the Waratahs is having a 5-meter attacking line out, which is quite dangerous. They set up a maul, right? And, the Highlanders is under a bit of a pressure, but Pari Parkinson, right? Basically, the maul isn't going that great for the Waratahs. Pari Parkinson saw himself swung. He basically found himself on the other side of the rock, right? And he fell to the ground. He fell over on the opposite side of the rock. So he's completely legal in this position if he had been on his feet. So he's already off his feet. And he's holding on to the player carrying the ball. Once you're on the ground, you're no longer allowed to make any sort of interference to the play. So you need to let go. In fact, the referee, Damon Murphy, had been really kind to him, right? He had not given the penalty right away. Give him time to let go and just, walk away from this poor situation that he found himself in, right? But not only that he didn't walk away, he hung on and let's watch. He gets back on his feet and joins the ruck on the opposite side. Damon Murphy saw this and was like, all right, dude, I have to give away the penalty, right? I'm giving you the chance to, in fact, the fact that he was on the ground and holding on the player carrying the ball in the maul was already enough for a penalty. Damon Murphy didn't give it, all right? It was already a penalty. But Parkinson thought, hey, I didn't hear any whistle, time to keep going, gets up on his feet and joins ruck on the opposite side. Now the penalty is given. Right? Now he's like, oh God, I gotta let go now. Instead of letting go, he continues to hold on to the player with the ball, right? He swings around, still holding on to the player with the ball. And the maul collapses. He lets go. When you let go, it's called changing your bind. You can't change your bind. Sometimes they say you change your bind. Letting go of the guy with the shorts is changing your bind. So he lets go, jumps over the ball,
Gordon.
and seals the ball dead. So the Waratahs could not play the advantage that he had given away. There's no other option but a yellow card here. There's no other option. It's so stupid. Right? If he had just not done this, killing the ball, he would have been fine. He would have been on the field. He would have just been on the field, probably get a warning from the referee. But to just go straight up, kills the ball off. That's what pressure does to you. You know, he wanted a way to get the pressure off him. He wanted to get off the field. It's too much to handle, and he found a way. Okay? And yeah, sure enough, Waratahs
Wanting it and not
gets in a try just, 3 minutes before full time. That was the game for the Highlanders. Really disappointing. Parkinson, and he's not a rookie anymore. He's quite an experienced player nowadays. Needed to be better than that. Need to be a little bit better than that. Overall, the game has been kind of like two halves, really. The Waratahs came out, kind of looked really good, and then just took the foot off the gas when they had, off the gas after halftime. Highlanders had a big, comeback in the second half, caught up with the Waratahs. In fact, took the lead all the way until the last 5 minutes when, Parkinson couldn't handle the pressure. And, stupid. Just complete stupidity. Like, if he had not just gone in, blatantly killed the ball, he would have been on the field. And the Highlanders would have still had a much better chance of holding out the Waratahs than up against, playing with 14 players, right? So let's have a look at some of the interesting stuff of the game, some of the match stats. Waratahs 3 tries to 2. 388 run meters, the Highlanders 399. Pretty close, like not really high run meters for both teams, considering, the last game between the Brumbies and the Hurricanes, both teams had 600 run meters or more. So this is not really crazy run meters. In terms of turnovers, this is 10 against the Waratahs, 13 against the Highlanders. 119 tackles are made for both teams, quite even. 14 missed tackles for Waratahs, 18 missed for Highlanders. Not too bad overall in terms of missed tackle count. There's a little bit of kicking game going on this game. 30 kicks and 27 kicks for the Waratahs, 27 kicks for the Highlanders. And there was quite a number of really important 50-22s that determined the results of a couple of tries. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So there was some really good kicking game as well in this game. Lineouts, the Waratahs had 21 lineouts this game. Woo! And the Highlanders only had 11. Scrums, 2 and 5, perfect for both teams. Penalties conceded, 11 against the Waratahs, 10 against the Highlanders, 1 yellow card apiece, both. So the Fouquetti got a yellow card for a high tackle, whereas Parkinson, he just sort of being stupid, gets himself a yellow card and costs the team the match. So let's have a look at some of the highlights, some of the key plays of the game, right? So there were some pretty nice tries this game, actually. So first up, 60 minutes into the game, Isaiah Peresi, the Rugby League convert to centre, one of the few players who's actually doing quite good as a Rugby League convert these days. So he had the ball, rumbling through inside, rumbling himself through. He looked like he was surely going to get tackled. There was 3 players on him, but he's not just refusing to go down and just keeps shrugging. He looked like he was going nowhere. He keeps shrugging, and he managed to get himself through, right? And then 2 more players jumps on him, and then he just keeps pumping. At this point, his teammate, Dave Parecki, latches on from behind him, just giving him an extra bit of push from behind, and he manages to go all the way through about 5-6 defenders to score a try out of nowhere. Okay, this was unbelievable. He had Aaron Smith hanging on his ankle, and he just keeps going, and then he went through for a try. This was, really, a lot of powerful leg drive from him, and with some help from Parecki. Waratahs gets the first try on the ball 16 minutes into the game. Highlanders kind of fought back a little bit in the middle part of the game, got 2 penalties where they kicked them both. So 6 points to 7 as the halftime was approaching. Just before halftime, the Waratahs had a penalty. They decided to not take the 3. They kicked the penalty out for a line out, and they set up a maul. This was a beautiful maul. Just rumbles straight through. Fouquetti this time gets a try for himself. There's no assist for this. He gets the reward for the assist he had for Peresi, so he goes in for the try for the Waratahs. So halftime score, Waratahs leading 14 points to 6. Okay, coming out of the second half, the Highlanders really just kicked into another gear. And the Waratahs, on the other hand, look like they just kind of like, yeah, we got this one in the bag, almost like it was looking, not that impressive. But the Highlanders came out and they fought. 56 minutes into the game, the Highlanders gets a oh, hang on. So wait. The Forgetty try was not a more try. So let's go back a little bit. So just before halftime, Michael Hooper gets a 50-22. Okay, Hooper gets a 50-22. Michael Hooper, the number 7, yes, gets a 50-22. And the Waratahs went for a more. And then the more got really close. The players kind of pick and go a little bit. Eventually, there was a pop-up ball to Forgetty, who went in for the try, okay? So that's the try there. So the first Highlanders try in the second half was a penalty, and then went for a more. And then Renton was the one that was holding the ball, gets in for the try, for the more try. And then a few minutes later, Highlanders was feeling the momentum. They kept on pushing. Aaron Smith kicks a 50-22 himself. And then the Highlanders had a line out very close to the Waratahs try line. They just basically what happened? They basically just like played on the line out. There was a dangerous tackle from Forgetty. There was giving the Highlanders a penalty advantage, but they really didn't need it. They just piled on the pressure, and then Aaron Smith picks up the ball, saw a gap in front of him, goes in for himself, and then goes in for the try. Forgetty gets a penalty, gets a yellow card, so Waratahs had to defend the next 10 minutes with a play in the bin. So luckily the Waratahs were able to hold the 10 minutes without losing any points. Once the Waratahs got themselves back into the full team, they just really wanted to get that try. They rumbled on. They had that 5-meter line out with a penalty, and then Parkinson made this stupid penalty, gave away this stupid penalty, professional fouls, got himself sent off, and Waratahs, with the last bit of effort, just kept on rumbling with the penalty from the penalty, and then eventually Vailanu, the big, I think he's a reserve hooker, Vainalu, the reserve hooker gets the ball, picks up, and just dropped, big leg drive, pumped himself through for the third try for the Waratahs. 1 point ahead. I thought the Waratahs managed the clock a little bit poorly. I'm pretty sure he has a minute to kick the goal, and I'm pretty sure there was less than 40 seconds when he was taking the kick. So there should be that if he had managed the clock correctly, there shouldn't have been a kickoff. Maybe the referee said there was going to be a time for kickoff, but I think he has a minute and a half. I think actually you have a minute and a half to do the goal kicking, to do the conversion, so he can actually just run the clock down and then won the game without having to do a kickoff. So he poorly managed that. He just kicked the ball anyway. So there was still like 30 seconds for the Highlanders to do a kickoff, which, the Waratahs secured the kickoff and then just punted the ball out. Nothing came out of it. But, I think it's a bit of a poor management there. He could have just run the clock down and then ended the game with the conversion. But yeah, it is what it is. The Waratahs did the honorable thing of not running the clock down. I guess that's probably a good thing. But the Highlanders didn't really get a chance after that. And then that's the game ended. 21 points to 20. Finally, a win for the Waratahs over a New Zealand team. Let me know your thoughts. And like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Fijian game. Cheers.